Dr. Jazz.
Hey guys,
Dr.
Samo here.
Jazz.
Thanks for checking out the channel and its contents. And if you feel like it, please do subscribe. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Bye. Man,
Where you
appreciate
at?
it.
Where you at right now?
I'm in Slovenia, Europe.
Oh, beautiful.
So I'm at a stage where I can have a beer, right?
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
Cheers.
You're in New York or?
I'm in Puerto Rico right now.
Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I've been in Puerto Rico since the fire in my apartment in New York, 2018.
Already?
I've
Oh,
been,
wow.
yeah, yep. So
Wow.
it's quite a nice journey. It's a journey.
So you
Journey.
basically Puerto Rico and yeah, then New York and now back. Is it
Mhm.
working out? I mean, the place is probably beautiful, right? I've never been there.
It's yeah, it's very it has its challenges for any artist, but also there's a lot of good things that helps me in this stage where I am
Yeah,
as a person and as an artist. It
yeah,
forces me to look at things differently.
yeah. And it's still part of so many projects, I think, that and bands that you still play with, right? So that's
Yeah, some,
yeah,
yeah.
some, yeah,
Mainly with Miguel Zenon Quartet, we've been playing for 20
yeah,
years,
yeah,
and but since I'm here, I've been working more on myself as a brand, and that's been beautiful. That's
yeah,
been nice, you know.
yeah. I mean, funny. I wanted to start this talk like when the new album is coming out, and then you sent it to me today, and I
Yeah.
managed actually to listen to it like 1.5 times, and it's a killing one, man. It's like,
Thank you. Thank you.
it's
Thank you.
the melodies. I already wanted to ask you, when I listen to that
Yes.
stuff from
Hmm.
2020, that Caminando, and like it's all these melodies are like hymns or something, like
I
chants
appreciate that.
almost. You can
Thank you.
sing them, and this one as well. It's
Thank you very much.
yeah, I really love it. The
Thank you.
melodies are really strong. I mean, I really listened to it again just to get some more, but
Thank you
I
very
managed to go through it once. So, but
beautiful. Thank you.
what's the
Thank you.
story of the new album? I mean, it's basically
The
the same band I saw, but with like millions of other guests and
um the project it started with this I always wanted to call it an equation. I was at the Electric Lady Studios in New York, doing a recording for a big artist, big name artist. Usually they go there, um, and I was there for 5 days, and the artist didn't know what to do. Didn't know what to do. He was just completely brainstorming, or just to me, it was like a waste of time. 5 days, and all this time I'm thinking, and I'm watching, and I'm hearing my drums, and I'm seeing the way it works the place, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, man, this guy's been here for 5 days. He doesn't know what to do. What would happen if I could bring my guys in here for 5 days? I could do many albums. I could do many things, because then we record a jazz album in one day,
of
you
course,
know,
yeah,
uh, and we play together, and then that's it. But usually we have to conform with no, not that bad studios, but not at that level, because always the subject comes to budget,
yeah,
and so I took that, and I said, okay. So I asked the engineer, Phil Jolly, hey Phil, I have a band, I have a project. You think will be possible that I can record in this studio? And then he introduced me to Vera, who was a manager, lady manager, and on the stairs of the Electric Lady, very quietly, we talk about this idea, and she say, let's go for it, let's do it. And that meeting led to 10 years of work, of a journey, from myself to manage to complete the equation the way I wanted. I wanted to record an Electric Lady, and we did. I brought everyone. Adam Rogers, Guillermo Montero, all
Yeah.
the cats that I knew, and we play at the same time with no click. Everything was live. I managed to find the budget always. I was very broke. I was very broke myself. Actually, the day of this first day of recording, I had $24 in my account.
Oh, shit.
24. So I was hoping on the food to eat that day, but the food was paid, so everything was taken care of. But just myself was very broke. But I was rich. Like, who does that? Uh, and then when it came to mixing, I said, okay, so I want Michael Brower, because Michael Brower is the guy, is the top guy who needs to be on the equation just to prove what happens if you give us the same tools that Coldplay has, the same tools that
Yeah.
U2 and Bob Dylan. Regardless if you have the label or the money, no, just make it happen. So at the time, I went to see Michael, and he was happy to see the files and everything sounded good. But then his assistant told me that his price was $5,500 per track at that moment. And I said, okay. And I told her, listen, it's a lot, but I will find it. And I had $200 in my bank account. And then eventually I started asking for money. No one wants to give you money for a project like that, because nobody not even know who is that about. And forget about mixing, don't forget it. You're just mixing in a computer, the
Yeah.
usual
The usual.
indie
Yeah.
treatment. And I said, no, because then that's not the purpose of the equation. And I already have the tracking. So I already had that part. So it happened. So many years happened, no money I could find to pay for the mixes. And one day I invite Michael Brower to the Village Vanguard because we were playing. And I said, okay, this guy's a celebrity. I'm going to invite him to the Village Vanguard to see if he wants to come. So he went there and saw us play. And then after the set, he was just, wow, he was amazed. He was very happy. He stayed hanging in the bar with us and talking about, all the recordings and Rita Franklin, all the stuff that he'd done. And 2 days later, he calls me and say, Henry, I want you to teach drums to my kid. How much do you charge? I was being sad. I was like, wow. So in the next days, he was sitting in my couch in Washington Heights in my apartment because he wanted me to teach his kid. So I started doing that. We became friends, and he will always ask, "How is the record going?" I said, "Well, I'm still trying to find funding." Anyway, so that's the idea that followed through to 10 years of just we went through COVID, I went through the fire. And when we finally, this is very important, when we finally, after a few years, I say, okay, someone by mistake, they approved me some credit card that I didn't want. I don't know how that happened. I say, okay, this is the money for mixing. So I'm going to call him. I say, listen, this is how much I can give you. And if you say no, I take it. And I say, okay, I just leave it away. This is my last try after years. It's been years. So, and he say, yes, let's do it. Because by then he was not allowed to lady studio anymore, no assistant. So he could lower the cost and he had it in the rate. Okay, beautiful. We put a date finally. Yes. And 2 weeks before that mixing, a fire destroyed my apartment in New York. I was homeless. And so we were staying in the Bronx, me and my ex-partner staying in the Bronx. And a few days before, it's like, listen, I have this mixing. What are we gonna do? And she just stayed quiet. And I remember thinking, man, let's do it. And I went to mix after the fire and being homeless. I went to mix with the same thing, same budget, and and that after that mixing, then I moved to Puerto Rico eventually, and then finally. So that was the case with everything.
That's a journey, man.
Until now that is finally a double vinyl, and it sounds the way it sounds, and it did prove my point. Because when you hear it and people recognize, we recorded 10 years ago, but it sounds like it's today
It is.
because
It
of the
does. Yeah.
power
Yeah.
of the power of when you do things right from the beginning. And so it changed my life. it became a way of living, just to having the commitment and the vision, and just keep pushing it until it happens. Yeah.
Man, yeah, that's a journey, man. Fuck.
So,
That's
so
heavy.
now because I went through so many stages, uh, I won't put it online. It's never going to be on streaming. I don't need that. We don't need streaming. We artists like me, we don't need streaming. It's destroying ourselves,
Yeah.
and I don't even have a lot of budget for publicists or anything like that, if any. But the record, by word of mouth,
Yeah.
people are buying it all the time, all the time. And when I go to the record store, instead of leaving them my records until someone buy, I I I sell them right in the moment. And at the beginning, they were hesitant about it, but I said, "Listen, I'm an artist. I'm an artisan. If I give you my art here and I don't get paid, then how am I going to pay for gas or anything?"
Yeah.
So I've been just changing, so going back to the real trade. I give you my art, you pay for it, and then I buy groceries.
Yeah.
Because if I leave you 10 here and 10 here and 10 here, then where's my bread? So it's been a journey of learning a lot. You know,
That's interesting. Yeah.
that's
But
so that's
it's actually
a little
true
bit
what
of
you're
the
saying.
story.
It's true what you're saying, actually. Yeah. All these things, paying.
Yeah,
I know this, like, giving CDs. I mean, giving, like there and there, 20 and 20 and 20, and basically you gave
no
away
man.
100 CDs and you still
Yeah,
don't see any income now. And
yeah.
so, yeah, it's a
I
hard
will.
one. Hard one.
I don't think I will. I will. I'm not expecting to receive this what it costed me,
At
but
least something,
I
yeah.
can tell you. I can tell you that since I started selling, I've been able to generate way more money than I have done anything in streaming, or
Oh, I can
way
believe it.
more. And actually, it feels better. Today I went to the store because the guy wanted me to give him two more copies. And then, okay, so I go to the store. One of the copies is already sold. And then there was one guy just watching a piece, and he was looking for the album, and he bought it there and signed it.
Beautiful.
And so the two copies right there. So I made that money in that moment, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
Hopefully, talks like this, at least, spread the word as well. I think that's important, so
It's
it's,
important. I don't want to consume all our time on this, but I can
oh,
tell
no,
you that
absolutely.
my spirit is relieved, and after just being through so much and learning and just deciding on my own,
Yeah.
uh, and actually giving the value to what it is. I mean, to the value to the art that I created, like we created together.
Yeah. So true. Like,
Feels good. Feels good.
what was your process when writing these tunes? Like I said, they're for me, they sound so strong as melodies. Like,
Yes.
how do you come up with them? Like, do you sing them? I mean, many times they're sung, of course, but like,
Uh-huh.
what's the process there when composing for this project?
Well, the first thing I want to share is that I never graduated from music school, so I don't have a training in harmony or composing or composition. But then I work with great composers. So it took me a long time to go over my fear of just writing anything, until I started imagining the guy with the guitar with a few chords making good songs, or any garage band that I used to play creating songs. I say, Henry, what's the matter? Just write something, write something. You don't have to be Miguel Zenon. I mean, he
Sure.
says great art, and or Fabian, or just write something. And I started writing simple ideas, but because I don't know technically, this chord leads me to this chord, to this chord, to this chord, to that chord. Uh, my process is that I I I create something on Logic, a melody that I like, and the only way it goes to the next section is when I hear it where it wants to go. So that takes me longer. I put the demos in my headphones, and I take the train, and I wash dishes, and I live with the melody until I start hearing where it wants to go, based on the information that I have of listening and playing with many people. Uh, and then when I hear when it wants to go, then it happens. So the last thing that I play is the drums. Usually the melody and bass are the most important things for me. I
Yeah.
believe that because I'm a huge Bob Marley and the Wailers fan and reggae
Oh, me
fans,
too, man. Ooh, yeah,
and I think you can define a song with just a bass line.
absolutely.
Uh, and a beautiful melody, and also the importance of letter B. Letter B should be magic. If you go to letter B and you don't say anything, then it's not so good. To me, letter B should be like, wow. Letter A to get your attention, letter B to say, wow, thank you. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
But pretty much everything that I write, because I don't have the training, the technical training, is it works by singing. Singing.
yeah. That's so important,
Yeah.
man. I mean, melodies, that's one part in modern jazz that's many times missing, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, and
I mean,
great
great
players,
players,
terrible
but
tunes, terrible
yeah,
tunes,
many times it's just like
terrible tunes,
technical
Mhm.
and
Terrible tunes.
but
And
yeah,
I don't write chord changes anymore, because then every time you write chord changes, the musician goes and start, spelling the chords. And I don't need
yes,
you to spell the chord. We already know the chord. I don't need. I need to play the music, the song. So if you don't put the chords, they are forced to
think
listen. Of
and
course,
listen.
my
Yeah,
music is not super difficult. Any good musician should be able to hear where it's going. But if you don't write the chords, then they have to stick to what it is, and then if they want to go out, it's because they hear it. They
yeah,
can hear it.
absolutely.
So that's another thing that I've learned because of the limitations of me not knowing, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, quite cool, man. Yeah, yeah, I like that because immediately when I see a G minor seven chord, I kind of
Then
my
you go
mind my
blup,
mind goes into this kind of
blup.
yeah, I kind of
Oh
well,
yeah,
okay, shit, I'm gonna go
blup.
there and yeah, exactly. So
Man, the guitar player loves that. Bass player loves that. Everyone kind of love
everyone,
that. They
yeah,
want to they want
yeah,
to cheat around. I said, no, man, no, that doesn't make sense. You might be playing the right chord, but it doesn't make sense with the melody.
good to
So I
know.
said, no, I don't. It started because of my limitations, but now I never do it. I said, no, no. If this music is simple enough, so you should be able to hear what the harmony is.
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Uh, 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 we mentioned Miguel before, and I listened to the live at the Village Vanguard one, which came out
Yes.
well, last year. Yeah, I mean like a couple of months ago, and
hmm
man, the
hmm
band is killing. I mean, I've done
Thank
this
you.
talk with all the guys of the band, like Miguel, Luis, and Hans,
Really?
except you. So now I have the quartet, and I love that group, man. And I
Thank
wanted
you.
to ask you,
Thank you.
how do you cope with that music? Because Miguel's music,
Yes.
man, that's some heavy shit. That's like
It's heavy.
rhythmically. What's your process then when you get a lead sheet? I mean, like, how do you imagine
Yes.
the tune? And
Um. So let's a few things. Let's say that Miguel's quartet is basically a fusion band, a fusion band with acoustic sound. And when I say fusion band, is that the idea of fusion is that has elements from different genres from different places. That's the called fusion.
yeah,
So it's not straight ahead only, or it's not a Latin band. It's just fusion because it has elements from everywhere. Of course, you have a spinal cord that is influenced a lot by Caribbean and African music and a lot of rhythm, but it also has beautiful melodies. Uh, so I consider myself like a mixed martial arts kind of musician, you know, because I didn't grow with bebop. I didn't grow with, my first idol was Striper, Robert Sweet and Motley Crue.
really
So
interesting. Wow.
I had to learn myself to understand many genres of music to be able to make some money and play, you know. So I don't come from a specific musical tradition, not even salsa or even no. I had to
Interesting.
learn the bell, and so like teach myself. But the same process that I did to learn one, I did to learn jazz and R&B and funk, and I know for sure how can I get closer to a style of music because of that. Uh, so we are constantly listening to a lot of different music because this is what we like. In Puerto Rico, I listen to a lot of reggaeton, and then I go to rock and roll, and then go to rumba, and then to bebop, and then to Virgil Donati all the
Oh,
time, and
really?
then
Oh
to
man. Okay.
and then to salsa. you know, I don't have issues with music because to me, I mean, if it's really bad, it's bad, but I don't separate music. If it's good, it's good. If you go to Guadalajara and listen to say corrido, it's in 3/4. It's beautiful that pop music is in 3/4 over there, and they dance in 3/4, and same thing with flamenco, you know. And so my vision of music is very wide because this is how we grew up here, and also because I feel that I want to play with everyone, you know. Uh, so I'm inspired by that. So that idea mixed with a lot of uh drum technique and drum books, not
Mm,
drum video, drum books. I'm a dr- I'm a I'm a very I study a lot of the drums and the body. That's why I say Virgil Donati is my favorite
I
drummer who
love,
can
man,
play
that
the
guy.
drums
Yeah, he's a monster, man.
in a in a physical way.
Yeah,
He's the top. You know, that doesn't mean that I want to play like him, but if you take the relationship instrument person, which is physical, and it takes time, you know, there's no shortcuts in there. That's it. That's just a long journey that requires all of you. And so jazz guys will be only with syncopation and Philly Joe, Tony Williams, Roy Haim. And then of course that's important, but you if you stay stuck there, you're missing out the whole thing. I mean, the
absolutely.
picture is so big. Picture is so big. I used to watch the Wailers videos on mute, no sound, just I was amazed about how much just the body language could teach you about how they're approaching the guitar and the bass and the drums. You know, just the body and just watch Fela without sound and just watch Sly Stone without sound. You know, it teaches so much, and those kind of things I'm always been into learning and absorbing. When Miguel writes music, it's very everything is very clear, super clean. PDF, MIDI file. The
Okay.
MIDI file has everything there. It's very clear. You can hear the MIDI file and see the PDF. So I go measure by measure, system by system, page by page, and I work on it systematically because many of us, you know, think if we spend too much time playing practicing your music, then we're not working on our shit, which is an absurd. But I think we all go through that.
Yep.
Uh, so what I started doing is just using whatever music that I'm learning and putting my routine into those tunes. You know, my personal routine into those tunes. Instead of using the playlist or records, I will use the music that I was gonna play or that I need to get to for the gig or for the recording. So then I merged the both. So I studied the songs. I basically spend my practice routine in the songs that I need to learn. So
Smart.
I really
Yeah.
absorb them, you know. Uh, but also what's happening over the years, another thing that is good to share is that, okay, why am I spending 4 hours in this Miguel's chart? What the fuck, you know? What happens is that, okay, the chart might have some groups of five. You go there and you nail that shit. And then let's say Ben Wendell calls me, put some charts. He has those same figures in five, and then he goes, "Oh man, you nailed it from the first. Man, that's so killing." Eh, wow. But he doesn't know that you already,
Yep.
because the writing, especially jazz, I mean, all music and from the same period, like today's music, it has some cliches that people do, some codes that people are using at the moment. You know,
Yep.
those groups of five, the groups of seven, everyone eventually will just put in something there. So when you work on tunes from specific artists, that's gonna help you also because many other people are writing the same thing, you know.
Yeah, yeah. That's
uh
yeah.
so you never lose and you never waste the time, you never waste the time.
Mm. And it's
So
also
that's my
feeling of a
process.
band, right,
Yeah.
with Miguel? Like you guys been together 20
Huh?
years. You guys been together for 20 years,
20
and
years.
that helps with
Yeah,
the
20
music so
years.
much, right?
We're going to the Grammys next weekend on the first. We're going to LA for the nomination. Hopefully we get it this time. And yeah, it does help. But a lot of the work from that music comes from homework that everyone does.
Yeah.
Not from rehearsal. Not from rehearsal.
Mm.
The chart is very clean. The MIDI file is there. It's up to you to come to the sound check, usually the sound check, or maybe if it's really, really hard, maybe a rehearsal, and then come ready just to play it,
Yeah.
not to figure it out, just to play it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's it.
How did you hook up with Miguel anyway? I mean, I have those records, Awake and
Yes.
Alma Dentro and all that stuff. I mean, that's beautiful music.
Thank you.
When did you first play with him? I mean,
Miguel is from Puerto Rico, but we
Yeah.
met in Boston,
okay.
around maybe that was 2000, no, in 1999. He was already living in New York. He came to Boston and we met there briefly. I went to Berkeley for 6 months, and after that, I came back to Puerto Rico, and I would go a long time ago and stay with Miguel over the weekends in New York. So he would show me around. We'll
Mm.
go to this Think Bar and watch Jeff Tain watch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I was 23, I moved to New York, and went briefly to Manhattan School of Music, and I started playing with David Sanchez, and Miguel was still playing some gigs with David Sanchez,
Exactly.
so
Oh,
they
yeah.
would play. And eventually what happened is that Antonio Sanchez was playing with Miguel before me. And by around that time, he started getting the call for Pat Metheny.
Oh, yeah.
So there was a few gigs that he couldn't do. So Miguel asked me to sub for Antonio. And what I did is I memorized all the music, even though if it was for one gig or just one day. Maybe sometimes the jazz guy was 2 days and Antonio couldn't do one, so he would play the next one. So I would have to only play one gig, but I still memorized the whole shit. And then eventually, when he was super busy with Pat, that paid off because Miguel said, "Okay, this guy still young and everything, but he knows the music.
Yeah.
He puts the work." So that was it. That was it around 2000, maybe six, something like
Already.
that.
Yeah. Wow.
Mhm.
Was it heavy for you when you came to New York, like to start getting gigs? I mean, through David, I guess. Then, yeah, Miguel came in,
Yeah,
but like
that I
proper.
was lucky that David started hiring me.
Yeah.
At that moment, I was not ready. I had to go through a lot of struggles, for many years to get my shit together
Yeah.
as a person and as a musician. And I think from when those records with Miguel started coming out, and I I think that people started just noticing myself more and started calling me. Yeah, so yeah, it was like that.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
yeah.
that I didn't hang a lot. I think what made the difference is that if you call me for a gig, I will be 100% prepared, learn the music, and then I won't stay hanging. I was going home early, but my moment in there, I was prepared. That's for sure. I was
It's
prepared.
important. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
helped
Yeah.
me. Yeah,
Yeah. I remember
I
hearing you
never
on
took
those
it for
records, man.
granted. Never,
Yeah. 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 That's for sure.
yeah, never took it for granted. Never took it
Yeah.
for granted.
I remember Cultural Survival, man. I was like, who's the drummer?
Oh,
And awake those
with
records. I'm
David.
like, who is that? And then I
Yeah.
started kind of seeing you more and more on records. I was like, okay,
Awake was my very first record in New York with Miguel. Awake, and I
yeah,
was very young, really
yeah,
young,
yeah.
and fresh.
Oh,
And,
but you
and
sound killing, man, already. Then it's like,
thank you, thank
whew,
you. I think
those records.
it took me so many years to come out of a recording session happy. Uh, that I can tell you that if you say from Awake to la música Ismael Rivera, Sonero,
Yep.
I think that's when really started saying, okay, I nailed it. So it took me all those years. So that's when the first time I started feeling, okay, this tracking, I mean, this version, I don't even need to listen to it. I know it's good. But it took me many, many years of feeling like shit. It's like, ah.
Yeah, it's heavy in the studio, right? When you're starting.
Very heavy,
I mean, I remember
very
I
heavy.
was also like every take I did, I was like, shit, man, this sucks, and
Yes,
you
yeah,
know, like everything sucked, and then I listened back, I was like, ah, fuck, man. But
yeah.
then, I mean,
And
obviously, it
and
didn't
then
work,
with
I guess.
Miguel, you're the drums there is the only one who doesn't fix anything. So if it's a good saxophone solo that's it. We don't care about rim shots or toms, or we don't care about, like, they don't even listen to if I have to say something. It's like, now whatever. Just shut up. So I learned over time that, okay, whatever you do, make sure you're happy, because then no one really wants to punch the drums.
Oh yeah,
It's not your album. You can do that in your album. Why don't you hire your own session and then you
yeah,
change
yeah.
the sticks?
As long as you keep the
Uh,
tempo and you make it happen, I
yeah, it's
mean, and
just
it's
if
creating
it's good
tension,
for
and
them,
yeah,
it's it. It's it.
yeah, yeah. When does there this? You know, you mentioned you listen to every music, and I've seen you. I have you on so many straight ahead records. I mean, modern jazz, like you know, with Eric Reed
Uh-huh.
and Gerald
Hmm.
Clayton, those records. Which in the beginning you started with David and Miguel. One would not expect you on those records, but then you also
Yeah.
integrated in that scene. And how did that story, also that segment, when did that begin to appear?
Yeah, I did that record with, I mean, it was because of Eric Reed, that that was a turning point in my life in New York, because I went through the process of saying, okay, uh, if someone needs bebop, they're gonna call Rodney Green. Of course, I will hire Rodney Green too. He's one of my
Sure.
best friends, you know. And then if you want, R&B or gospel, you hire this guy. The drum is very hardcore when it comes to that. People don't even realize how hardcore is the separation that they do. Oh no, I need a drummer that plays the backbeat. This guy is Latin, so this hardcore. And I became too jazzy for the Latin guys and too Latin for the jazzy guys, because they still prefer to this day, the songo that they Weckl play for the American audience. Still getting
Yeah, yeah,
a lot of people prefer so if you're too Latin, no, that's too hardcore. No, we need and then you're too jazzy. No, no, you're too jazzy. Okay, so you stay kind of in the middle of nowhere. There's no black, no white, no, just Latin. But then to the Latino, you're also too jazzy. So what the fuck?
yeah.
Uh, and I knew I could play many styles. And then one day, Eric Reed calls me, and Eric Reed, Henry. Uh, I want to do a recording, a tribute to Thelonious Monk, and I want you to be in. And I was thinking to myself, this is a joke, because I would listen to Eric Reed playing with Greg Hutchinson and
Sure.
Reginald Bill while I was in Puerto Rico. Say, what the fuck? This makes no sense, especially paying tribute to Monk, especially like. And I said, well, thank you for the call. And then when I saw my calendar, I was on tour. It's like, man, it's gonna be hard to do. I'm really sorry. And then he said, I will have to change it because I need you to be on. And it's like, whoa, this is
Wow.
this is serious. Okay, so we made it happen. Final day, he changed the date. Me and Seamus Blake, all these guys were
Yeah.
there, and I was still very young. And he came to me and said, "Man, I just want you to play the way you play. Don't think about anything. Just whatever you do is fine, and play more." And like, this guy's out of his mind. Uh and and eventually I understood that what he was looking for, a guy who could just bring different elements, and that understood the jazz and the interactions and the comping, but that bring different elements to
Mm,
the table. Uh, and I said, well, I can do that, because that I started playing Striper and then Sky and then all that stuff, and then I understand jazz. So I can do that. And that's the first time that I say, okay, maybe I do have a spot in New York. You know, that's the first time that I say, okay, man, it's not too bad then. And if you look at the music now,
yeah.
the more and more it's more mixed. It's more and more elements, and the people just focus on one thing, gonna be very limited
Absolutely.
to to so that kind of was my door, and I think everything else we went Ben Wendell, Fabian Almazan,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
those records
All
we
these guys, yeah.
did, and Ben Wendell, Jerry Clayton. I think they're looking for the same thing. I think what they're looking is just someone who understands the fundamentals of jazz music, but also who can expand and also be solid, not just lightly playing the
Yeah,
cowbell or
yeah.
playing the da da da, just solid rhythmic foundation. And I'm actually touring with Gerald Clayton now and as a trio. I'm happy for
Oh,
it.
beautiful, man. Yeah.
This year we're gonna go to Mexico and Argentina. Um, and I think more and more it's natural evolution. They wanted to get you expand on the music.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's like you know, so many guys told me, like drummers especially or bass players, you know, especially in the past, it was like either you're a Latin guy or you're a straight ahead guy. He's a fun guy. He's an avant-garde
Yeah, yeah.
jazz guy, and you know,
No,
it would be hard to cross those borders. And
very hard, very
now
hard.
it's yeah, now it's different. Now people really
It
have to know.
it it's still not 100%, but I can tell you that, for instance, I'm this year they nominated me for this. You know, Dromio, the website
Sure.
Dromio
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
big
sure. Yeah,
drum.
yeah. I love
So
it.
they
Yeah.
nominated me for Dromio Awards on their contemporary jazz of the contemporary no contemporary drummer of the year, contemporary drummer.
Wow, man.
And for many years I was reaching out to Dromio to do something, but it never happened because they were always unsure how to present this guy. Like, are we presenting it as Dasne Prieto
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Da La 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 or like what the fuck? This guy doesn't play any cowbells. Left foot clave, no, like what we do, like, and I first I took it personally, then I understood that it makes sense, of course, because they expecting something like how we gonna uh
Label
so
you. Yeah.
when I saw the email, you've been nominated for contemporary, I said, and then I went to the dictionary, I went to find the definition for contemporary. Okay, it makes sense to what I do. So I guess the contemporary drummer.
I love that, man. That's how
You
you should
know,
present yourself. I play
yeah,
contemporary jazz. That's a bad label, man.
I am the contemporary drummer,
Yeah, yeah.
and
That's
you
beautiful.
know, and on that Billy Banger album, I did it with insomnia. I was taking Xanax, 4 Xanax. I couldn't sleep that year, 2020. 2024, it was a horrible year for me. Went to depression, anxiety, everything, you name it. $500 an hour psychiatrist, no one could do anything. And I had to record, and I was thinking through the whole gig, I would have to reimburse Miguel for the for the expenses for this. I was thinking, man, I'm destroying this album. I'm gonna have to reimburse him for the loss of the whole recordings. And look what happened. It's crazy. It's crazy, but yeah. Then after a long time, when I listened to the album, I said, "Wow, this shit sounds good. It sounds like a band. It
Man.
sounds together."
Yeah, yeah.
But I was completely thinking this is gonna be a disaster. I will have to pay for the whole thing myself. It's my fault. It's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. You know, it was a hard, very obscure period.
Oh shit, man. Yeah, yeah. It's heavy. It's but yeah,
Thank
I love the Vanguard, man. I listened to that record many times, and I always come to the drums. You know, it's just
you.
I mean I
Thank
love
you.
drums. I'm such a
Means a lot.
yeah. It's just like so many times when you know play with the rim shot and like kind
Uh-huh.
of and going with Miguel or
Thank
with
you.
the accents. I'm like, dude, what is going on here? Like, then go back usually like, oh shit, what's you know. I love that shit.
I'm really happy you like that. Thank you for that. Thank you for
Yeah,
that. Thank you for
beautiful. And you're
Thank
like
you.
water changing, like going there and
Yeah, a
it's
lot of
exceptional.
the mixed martial arts are the Bruce Lee kind of approach
Yeah, yeah,
to music. I mean, it's older than that, but yeah, you just adaptation, adaptation and being
yeah,
present in the moment.
yeah,
You know. That's why I encourage all the drum guys now and musicians just to study books, man. Just Don't expect to learn only on the real book and only on watching
Oh,
videos that you don't do anything. Just buy books and study books. I have tons of drums book. Like I every time I see a new one that is interesting, I buy it because it's different perspective,
yeah,
and it, it helps you to then uh to detach from just being on this position, hoping to play the right
yes,
symbol, and that's it because you cannot
yes,
open up. You know,
yeah, and
I mean,
especially
I
the
must
white you're
open up.
talking about.
Yeah, I must open up because otherwise I don't make any money to pay. I have to play reggaeton and rock and everything. But I do like it. It's
That's
not that
important.
I'm unhappy. I do
Yes.
like it. That's the good thing that I do like it. Yeah.
I love all the artists you name because I'm the same. I love Virgil, Donati, and I love the. I have a reggae band actually. I mean, besides playing jazz, I just love
Man,
reggae.
reggae is a must. Reggae
And
is
it's
a
just
must. Reggae is
it's
a
all
must.
good music. And many times jazz
Reggae is a
players
must.
are like you said, like like oh shit, I'm a
The
jazz musician. I just listen to
Yes,
Philly Joe and like come on, dude,
yes.
check out I don't
The
know
closest,
John
believe it or
Bonham and
not,
all these guys.
the closest minds that I've encountered in terms of listening to albums are jazz musicians and
Yes,
jazz departments in schools. Believe it or
yes,
not, which is sad. It's a sad thing to say,
but it's true.
but it's so true. They still working on Speak No Evil and blah blah blah. Same thing for 2026. Even Wayne would be ashamed. It's like, dude, move on. Just get
Yes,
the idea, understand it, and move on.
yes, yeah,
Or then move on and come back and move on, but don't just stay there.
yeah,
You know, it's
yeah,
if you put the time and the effort, it's very simple to understand. I mean, not that it's simple, that is simple, but it's basic. It's there. You understand. You transcribe. You learn the solos. You learn the approach because it's what it is, and then you move on and you bring other elements, and then after 8 months of Virgin, then you go back to Art Blake, the stuff, and you make the and you. I've been checking out a lot of Eddie Van Halen
oh
just
sure,
to
me
get
too.
his sound, and he
Sure,
gets this energy, and Alan Holdsworth and
yeah,
and those albums. Like,
yeah,
wow, I want to phrase the drums like Alan phrase the guitar,
yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Ah, it's true. It's I did a workshop like 3 years ago, and some guys, Lionel Lueke, the guitarist, he did also a master class part of that workshop, and he told one of those the guys, the band there, like, okay, and these were kind of like seniors or almost finishing already jazz university, like, okay, play something. They decide for There Will Never Be Another You, and like
Uh-huh.
immediately the drummer takes out brushes, right? And
Yeah, the whole automatic pilot.
automatic, yeah, and like they
No.
start playing like first bars, four bars, da 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 da. The drummer immediately like goes down, like he stops it. He was like, "What are you doing?" Well, it's a ballad, Yeah. So I mean, what, you know, the bass is just
Yeah,
like
man.
boom, boom, the
No,
piano, boom, boom,
it's
and he
it's
like after
terrible.
coaching half an hour, then he kind of made it sound like okay, you
Ter-
know.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
But that's
I
how it
mean, it
is, like
requires a lot.
90%. Yeah,
It requires a lot of energy to kind of awaken.
yeah,
Not awaken, but yes, awaken and tell. And I play with sometimes when I play with younger musicians that are really good jazz musicians. They have the training and stuff, and it takes me a long time until I say, okay, you can play Cherokee and Coltrane changes and Equinox and everything and all this Wayne Shorten, and you cannot play on two chords, just something like improvise something in two chords because you're scared of the where the one is. I think no way, that makes no sense. Like think about it. It makes no sense.
yeah. Bizarre,
Makes no
right?
sense.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Uh, Henry, I wanted to ask you. I was on a gig. I saw you actually
yeah.
like 12 years ago. Must have been like already with Gary Burton, very near me, like
Wow.
1 hour away from me in Zagreb, and like
Crazy.
that was an amazing gig. I mean, I loved Julian and all these guys. Like, how did you end up
Yes.
playing with Gary? What's your story with Gary? Was that only that one tour, or?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, after that, he retires. He semi-retired after that.
Yeah,
We did 10 dates, which is unfortunate because then he said, no, I'm gonna kind of take time off and stuff like that. But okay, I tell you the if you have time, I tell you the story, the
Oh,
full
please,
story.
yeah, that's why we're here.
Uh, at some point when I released my first album, Roots Before Branches,
Branches, yeah,
2011,
yeah.
it was an indie album, my first copy, and then I was playing in Montreux Jazz Festival with Alfredo Rodriguez, and Chick Corea came to play with us, and I gave one of my copies to Chick Corea, and good, like someone you say, okay, it's my album, whatever. And then eventually, Chick Corea started calling me to ask me questions about the album, about
Seriously.
how I put it
Oh,
together, the percussion, blah blah blah. Because then he wanted to make an album, like using those same elements or his idea of that. And he said, okay, because I like it because it's a very beautiful melodies, but then the band can stretch, but the audience is there. It's a good balance, and he wanted. Okay, I said, great. And the guys were like, Chico, yes, Kali just said, man, he's on the phone like right now asking me questions. I said, okay, beautiful, great. And then she calls me to send me some music. Okay, he sent me some originals. I said, wow, thank you. No, because we want to record in New York. Oh, you want to record in New York? You want me to be on the record? Yeah, so and so is gonna call you for the details on the equipment. I said, okay, I'm recording with Chick Corea. Fuck.
wow.
New music. Uh and then everything was set for the recording in seasons 2. And then Sandy happened, the storm. Sandy
Fuck. Oh,
came out.
shit, man.
Boom. So the streets were closed, everything was closed, the whole thing collapsed, bam, no recording. And then a few months later, she calls me to ask me for percussionists, and I gave some numbers of percussionists that I knew, and asked him, but what kind of project? He said, no, it's like the music that you have. So I guess he was recording with someone else, not me. Okay, so different band. So that record became the Vigil, and Vigil uh won Best Latin Jazz Album at some point at the Grammy, right?
Yeah.
So picture this. So on that album, there's his name, my man,
Charles Altura is no. Yeah.
Charles is
Yeah.
there. So after the 5 million, Charles called me for do a tour in Japan, and he said, Henry, that when we were recording the video, I didn't know Charles back then. When we were going to record the video, Chick Corea gave us a pen drive with the music, the PDF, and a copy of your album on the pen drive to
Oof.
listen to. And then Carlitos told me the same story. So I guess he really liked the album and he used it as a reference. But of course, no one's going to believe the story. It's like, oh, you're kidding. But that's a lie. But then Chick called me to play on his festival in New York with my band. It was good. And then I guess there was Gary Burton needed a drummer. They're really, really good friends. And Jorge Roeder, the bass player, recommended me. He
Mm.
threw my name on the table. And I guess between Jorge and then Chick say, man, this guy, but then Gary hired me and I did that tour. So
Beautiful.
it kind of helped out at the end. But that was the story. And I still got a lot of emails from him. And the gig with Gary Burton, it was incredible. But then he decided to take off. I had to take a break.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Did you ever get to
That's
play
it.
with Chick then, otherwise?
No, never,
No,
never.
shit, man.
We
That's
play
crazy.
we play in his festival. We play
Yeah,
in his festival
but
in
never
the,
with
at the
him.
Lincoln
Yeah.
Center. He invited me, and he saw the band. I think he was very curious about the idea of the band. He was very very into it, and he called me. He gave me a nice code for the album, and it was
Amazing,
a
man.
strange but beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Well,
Yep.
Henry, what's still on the schedule for you for this year? Are you coming to Europe, by the way? Like anytime
Uh,
soon or something like that? Or
Europe, I don't know yet. I might go in the summer because last summer I spent 2 months in Spain on my own and playing with people there. Uh, but now, yes, I'm touring with Miguel Zenon and with Gerald Clayton. That's the next thing. I'm working on I'm doing gigs with my solo project. which has been great. Myself, and using a few electronics and stuff
Mm.
like that. So I'm exploring that more and more. I want to do a power trio album uh, with Mexican musicians that I've been playing with and recorded over there on tape.
Oh,
Uh, I want to do that and put it out on vinyl for sure. Uh, and then just in general, just keep building my brand. You know, Puerto Rico is a small island. It's very beautiful. It's so small. It doesn't really give me work. I have to
yeah,
produce it myself because
yeah,
people think I like why I want to go call Henry for a cover band or for a restaurant. So the result is that I end up sometimes with no work at all. Uh, so I have to then create it. But even if it's a struggle, it really helps me out to see myself as a brand and as a business that needs to be sustainable. So I have the studio, so I'm working on better recording better tracks and working on Henry as a brand that is sustainable
yeah. That's
as a
important.
musician. And just making myself available instead of waiting for someone who pays for my ticket to go to Mexico. Say, okay, I'm gonna pay for my ticket. What can you offer? Okay, and then I ended up working for 4 weeks almost. So that was great last year.
Yeah,
Uh, so that's it. Just taking things on my own because I cannot keep waiting on the whatever on to people understand or the system. I cannot wait.
yeah, yeah.
I don't like to not anymore.
And you have a strong product, man. Come on, the new album. It's really killing.
And
It's
and then
it's
the
really killing.
albums. That's
Uh,
what I've been doing with the album. Because then it's not real to put a band together to play. I did it, but now it's very hard. But because the album, I turn it into installation audio installation, and I've been presenting on theaters, like movie theaters.
oh wow.
Uh, and I created some visuals that are not really defined. So the idea is that people go there and focus on the sound, on the audio. So it's a concert from the studio in the movie theater, you know. And I've done it 3 times, uh, and it's been great. It's been great for the audience and stuff. So hopefully I'll be doing more projects like that away from the music industry setting. And then as I tell you before, I keep selling albums without any promo,
Yeah, yeah,
just testing how much it can go by itself. And when you do things right, I mean, it was 10 years of effort, honest effort. When you do things really right in an honest way, people feel it because that's
yeah,
that's the rarity nowadays. Now that's rare, you know, a band that records together without a click and then it's mixed great and record with great mics. That's very rare.
yeah.
That's very rare.
That's so
That's
true.
very rare. In any genre, that's very rare. That's why we're going back to Rush and Black Sabbath, and we always go back to that because
Yeah,
he had the risk, the attitude. People there don't want to take risk nowadays.
that's true.
They want to play it safe, and then when you play it safe, you listen back to the album, you get it safe, and then no one, and then you are sad because people don't really dig it. You
I
know,
so agree with this. Yeah, yeah. You can
so
always listen
it's
to
not
Hendrix and stuff like that, and
it's
it's
and then you go back to then you go back to Andrew and say,
all the time. Yeah,
why you been checking out? Oh yeah, I've been checking out Coltrane and Count Basie. Of course, how many
yeah,
years was that ago?
yeah,
So and then most of the time is because we don't want to take what it takes, what it took them. We don't want to put ourselves into that position because it's very scary. And I've been through that. I've been, with $11 in my account, putting a band together many times. But then it pays off.
yeah,
It really pays off. It really pays off. At least for myself. I don't want to say it. Maybe for someone else, Spotify is great, but not for me.
yeah. For
Not for
Taylor
me. Not
Swift,
Bandcamp.
probably
Not
some.
for me. Yeah, not for. I don't think even for them. Not even
Yeah,
for,
I don't know.
you know.
It's
And then I read many times more and more that labels are putting out physical stores, big labels, that the young generation are going analog, as they call it. They're going analog, uh, and vinyl still outnumbered like top of sales,
oh
and and we're going back to mythology and folklore because we need that. We're
Oh,
going back
I
to it.
hope so. Yeah.
We're going back to it. It's enough of the computer and the algorithm and the quantize and all that stuff.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree,
need a
man.
break,
Yeah.
and need a break from it.
Yeah. I still am
So
CD person. I still love those. Just I keep returning to
so
those, even though I have like a
me
huge.
too. I have a CD player here too. So talking, this conversation now. I imagine this picture. The William Wallace. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the kind of vibe we gotta stay.
yeah,
You gotta stay strong, but because the ecosystem needs our
for
our
sure.
thing. Just to play real, just to take the risk to go through the process.
Yeah,
That's what that's when you see Virgil playing on mute, no sound, and you see his body and the way he plays the instrument. It's like there's no shortcuts there. I'm sorry,
no, no,
it's just
absolutely.
60 years old or 60 years living and breathing
The
the
drums, yeah,
journey.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that inspires me.
beautifully put, man. It's like you made a nice ending. I will not go here further. That was like kind of
Woo!
troops. Okay, I won't add a
Thank you.
note.
Thank you,
So, but
Samo.
man, Henrik,
Thank you.
thanks so much for sharing these thoughts. Really appreciate it. And if you're gonna be in Europe, drop me a line if you want to hang around
I will.
here. We have a guest room
Please.
here. Let's hang and
I miss being in Europe so much. Because touring was more, and we used to tour more and
oh
more
sure, I
before,
believe
of
it.
course, and I miss those dinners and those walk around Europe
Yeah,
and those stages. But I'm sure we get there. We get there.
you'll get here
Thank you.
again. Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you.
too, man.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Be well.
You too.
Abrazo.
Stay
All right.
strong. Ciao.
Bye bye.